May I request Dr. Shri Saurabh Dalela, sir, Director, International Center for Automotive Technology, to kindly give the welcome and theme remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Akram, and thanks everyone for being here. Dignitaries on the dais, my dear friends from media, my dear friends participating in this very important themed seminar, Can the EV sector be India's next growth engine? At the outset, I welcome all of you at ICAT. This is a ICAT Center 2 campus, which is close to 47 acres of land. And we have another campus at ICAT, Campus 1, which is about 7 kilometers from this place. So, heartiest welcome to all of you to this wonderful place, an amazing place for all the engineers especially, where it's a kind of an innovation lab for us. So, heartiest welcome to all of you. This is a very important event, and going forward, I think the importance and the gravity would keep on increasing and magnifying, for the simple reason that this is the new transformation that India is going to see. We've already heard our Joint Secretary mentioning about this very clearly, that there is absolutely no compromise and going back on the commitments that we've made on 2030 and 2070. So the vision is all set. It's just that how all of us sitting here and outside are going to make it happen. Strategies that we are going to make it happen. Government is going to play its role. We have to play our role. Everybody has to play their role. Just to give you a couple of numbers, we are about 1.4 million EVs today, and by 2030, cumulative number is likely to be 45 million. That's a CAGR of 49%, unprecedented growth. Absolutely unprecedented. We've never seen such a growth in any dimension, number one. Number two, the component industry is going to be about $14.5 billion. That's another big one that is about to come. 10,000 crores of investments by the Indian government already done by the scheme of FAME, and another big one to be coming up in the PLI scheme. Look at the strategy. When the FAME started, the basic objective is that we all started to talk about EV. There was a lot of there were a lot of startups that started. There were a lot of new players who came into the this game. And the government promoted them, not only with money but otherwise from regulatory point of view as well, and there were a lot of boost to this kind of a startup initiative of the government. And now with the PLI, we are expecting more technologies to come into India. And that's an important piece, because in the days to come, the R&D budget, which is going to be around this auto sector in 2030, is likely to be 14,000 crores, just the R&D sector. And it's important to understand why. Because when we say make in India, it's not just assemble in India, and that's what I think it's been said in various forums, and I'm just kind of reiterating the whole theme so that it doesn't get wiped off from our minds. It's not only make in India or assemble in India or import and assemble in India, it's primarily research in India, make a product for India, and any product that is good for India, I guarantee it's good for the world. The vice versa is not true, by the way. Products that have been designed for Japan, for Korea, for US, for Europe, for any other country may or may not function well in India because of various conditions of, climatic variations that we offer, the road conditions that we offer, the driving habits that we offer here are far too different. And therefore, anything that has done great in the Middle East will do good here. But anything that is good for India will do good everywhere. So it's very important to design for India, because of the reason that I just said. And if that boost comes in, it's going to be a great journey. And very clearly, We don't have to ask this question that we are talking today, can the EV sector be India's next growth engine? We are very sure it is going to be. It is going to offer huge employment opportunities. It is going to offer huge opportunities on research and innovation. We are ranked close to, I think, 50th in the world on the innovation index. I am eyeing on something which would be just about less than 20 by 2030. With these initiatives, not only by the government, but also from the new startups, also from the OE manufacturers, also from the component manufacturers, also maturity in terms of the customer range, and of course the government who's in various sectors and departments boosting this. And the commitment is very clear, no going back on that. Another important piece here is the safety part, and this is where I think all of us have to be very, very careful. You see, if you don't have your IC engine properly managed on heat, nothing great happens. The engine seizes, the piston melts, piston rings go off. There are no fires, there are no deaths, there are no fatalities. It's all repairable. We can do it. Of course, there's a cost, but then still it is manageable. But if a similar thing happens in an EV, the repercussions are really very difficult to handle. It's highly unsafe. We have fire, we might have fatalities, and therefore safety becomes a very, very important issue when we enter into the EV zone. And this is where I request everyone to put a little bit of additional caution, not a little bit of, but maybe majorly a huge amount of caution on the thermal management of EVs. Because we are India, first of all, we are not US or Europe or Japan, where the temperatures are lesser, and anything that goes well over there may or may not work here, for sure. So recently Tesla had this octane valve, I think they've patented it. It's got 8 ways of coolant and refrigerant and heating management. They have to heat the batteries because the temperatures are sub-zeros over there, and this is doing very well over there. It's a patent technology, and but then for sure 2 sectors of the 8 out of 8 are not required in India. Just going through it, and they are not required in India because of our conditions over here. They might be required by the army because they go at high altitude and lay in the dark areas, but otherwise we don't really need them. So such things which are going to create safety hazards are going to be more in EV, and therefore we have to be all very careful with this part of thing. When something goes wrong in an IC engine, the performance gets hampered. Whereas if same things go wrong in an EV, the safety gets hampered, and that's an area of concern for all of us. We don't want unsafe situations. Performance, we can argue, we can debate, we can increase efficiency. Even today we are increasing efficiency of IC engine. That's okay, that's good, that's great transformation, but safety is something which we have to be very careful. So with this clear message, I welcome once again all of you, and I am very confident that end of the day we will, Mr. Akram, going to conclude very clearly that this is the place to be. This is the time for all of us. This is the moment for all of us. Next 8 years, I tell you, are going to be absolutely exciting for all of us. And we should cherish all these moments, and especially an engineer, for sure this is going to be your day and your time. Thank you so much.